welcome in. This is not another sports show.
This is the sports show.
And I'm Brian DiNatale.
And I'm Cujo.
And you guys just witnessed a pretty big debacle. A lot of people are sick to their stomach. There might have been an E-coli outbreak at the betting buffet.
Yeah, it wasn't good. There's a lot to be nauseous about. I was sick all Saturday night looking back at what we did.
I hope you were, because that...
Yeah. There's no excuse. I don't know what happened. And a lot of regrets.
That hurts. A lot of things went south too, not just for you, but also
South
for
Bend?
Yeah.
Oh.
It went real south for them.
Yeah, Notre Dame. Big win.
For those
Against
Huskies,
A&M.
let's go.
Oh. Man, remember how we talked about they had a joke of a schedule to end the rest of this year?
Turns out they didn't.
Joke's on them. They're the joke. Notre Dame.
Man.
Pretenders.
Just a rough week all around.
Not great. It started early, too, in the week. BYU at SMU.
Yeah.
Really thought those things were going to come out firing on offense. That's their calling card.
More like the Pony Express out there.
Man, that might have been too quick, too.
Yeah.
They had 15 points. Their line was minus 12. All SMU's points came from their kicker. 5 field goals. Elite kicker.
That's what you want.
Yeah, I talked before about how much college kickers suck outside of SMU and North Carolina's. SMU, Minnesota should be calling SMU's kicker right now. Give him a huge NIL deal.
Yeah.
Get with like Foot Locker or somebody.
Right.
On brand, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it started with that way. SMU's offense is supposed to be this high octane offense. They have a veteran quarterback in Stone coming back. They're supposed to be moving the ball, and that has not been the case early on in the season. And they're running a 2 QB system, so that wasn't expected to be the plan coming out of camp. And neither of them can find anything. The offensive line is atrocious. It's just so bad right now for SMU that I'm off SMU and all those win total people that we were talking about.
Yeah. You got to hate to see those billionaires lose like this. Doesn't it kind of hurt to see?
It's such a random thing. All the billionaires are like, let's back SMU.
Yeah.
How random.
Yeah, I read a good article this week about all that and how it's a lot of oil men that have tried to turn this program back to the days of the Pony Express back in the Eric Dickerson days.
The glory days?
Yeah, they were apparently good back in the 70s, 80s.
I remember those days. You remember watching the tape.
I remember those days. Apparently they got hit with a ton of sanctions after that by the NCAA for paying people off back then, too.
They were just pioneers. Why are we penalizing the pioneers of the industry?
They were about 40 years ahead of their time.
Wouldn't you rather be first to the party than last to the party?
Well, their last 30 years of football, maybe they didn't want to be that early because they've been bad. So bad that Eric Dickerson was trying to get them to shut the program down because it was,
an alum trying to get your own football program shut down?
Apparently that bad that it was a disgrace to their name that they had to shut it down.
The way they just lost to the BYU Cougars 18-15, I would say that's a disgrace.
Yeah.
That's not worthy of getting into the ACC.
Yeah, it was. They were talking about how they were trying to get all this, these players in the portal. They
got that oil money, right?
They do. There's multiple oil men in on this. State of Texas football. When you got all these, it's Texas football, and you got all these other schools, and SMU is the one trying to turn. There's some rich dudes that are trying to get in on this. This is a direct quote from their board of directors. I don't remember. He's multiple things at this school. But they were talking about getting their rights for their TV deals. It was, the direct quote was, it's only a couple $100 million, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Direct quote, yeah. So that's the kind of money that we got pouring in.
They're gonna have their own network like Texas. Is that what SMU's going to? We're gonna watch a 2-10 team get a network.
That's what they're going for. But
what a joke!
Yeah, so
what a joke.
These are the kind of things that.
This is how your week starts anyway. This screwed our week.
Yeah, you don't want to start that way. I once again missed I was in Germany this week. Shout out to Dortmund.
The Bundesliga.
Got a nice Bundesliga jersey while I was there.
That is a very sick jersey.
It's pretty awesome. It's the wrong kind of football for this show, but I just thought I'd rep it.
There's green. If there's any positives here, I was positive betting on soccer.
Why didn't you give the people that kind of
bet?
That's what we've been
maybe
wanting.
You guys actually want my footy ones. Yeah.
I mean, you got anything else for the people? Maybe we should start with that with the betting buffet this week is start with some footy action.
I mean, there was, some UEFA starting back. So,
yeah.
England played today against Finland. There were some good games.
Yeah.
Turkey won.
Oh.
That was one that I
got
parlayed in there.
Yeah.
Big turkey guy.
Yeah. Well, it's not Thanksgiving yet, but
you can always have turkey, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got a lot of,
Yeah, we got a lot of disappointed fans.
A lot of disappointed fans.
And it just got worse. Then Cal, Auburn. Auburn was minus 13. This line, the problem was, the reads we had, all the money came in the way we wanted it to. All the lines moved in our favor, which didn't matter. So it's not what you like to hear, but, they were the right reads. Terrible execution. I'm putting it on the teams.
Yeah.
No accountability.
No. No, we take I take accountability. I'll take it for him, guys. No excuses here. That's all I've heard so far is excuses from this guy. And I mean, currently he's going to have quite a week in order to turn this around.
I mean, we're 2 games under 500 through 2 weeks of official bets.
I mean,
it's not great.
Now, good news is we have continued subscriber growth by 50% again.
Yeah, we're booming. You know who's continuing to also grow?
Who's that?
Ashton Gente for Boise State.
What a game this guy had.
Dude was unreal again.
This guy is legit.
He's got to be up there, I think, in the Heisman running. Realistically, if Boise State can be that non-power 4 team that gets into the playoff, I think Gente is going to be a guy who should get a look for Heisman.
And look,
I'm not going to win, but
I'm all in on Ollie Gordon. I still am but he kind of struggled this week.
He did
in his game
against Arkansas. That's not a huge.
It's not a
defense.
huge. Now, granted that they did play well and they stifled the entire Oklahoma State team offense. So it wasn't just Ollie Gordon, and he just couldn't get his momentum going. But
no, he really had nothing going at all.
I mean, that's tape that any team can watch now and say, all right, well, you know what? We just got to get them stopped and not get some momentum going.
I mean, really, for Ollie Gordon, it's about getting him in space. He's so fast if he gets the outside. But if you can
stuff him before it, that's what you got to do.
In the backfield, and he had no shot. He's not really a break tackle type running back. He's a speed guy.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see. Gente is
he's the real deal.
He's the truth.
He kept Boise State in it, and
the fact that he's on Boise State kind of hurts him a little bit as far as Heisman race goes. But
it does because they're the non-power 4 teams. But if you keep playing like that,
I think he's got a legit.
You're gonna run for 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
I mean,
you got to be talking.
NFL ready though.
Oh yeah. I think any NFL team would like him. I mean,
I honestly like him almost more than Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon's still my dude. He's still number 1, but number 2,
Ashton Gente. I'm all about him. I mean, they only lost by 3 to Oregon. Oregon scored more.
Hey, I just want to shout out and say that I thought that this game was gonna be closer. I was not really in on this bet.
The thing was, this line moved weirdly. It got up to 21.5.
That's crazy.
And then it got back down to 17.5. I think that oil money came in somewhere on Boise State, but it was a weird line. It settled back at 18.5.
Yeah, dude, I was honestly more in on the Broncos. Yes, I got your point. As soon as you mentioned, you're all right, they're pissed from week 1. Okay,
they should be pissed again.
I could see it. Yeah, what do you think this week they better turn it around because, I mean, it's been a rough go for them to start out early this season.
Yeah, they scored better, obviously, this week than last week, but they also surrendered 34. So they got some soul searching to do in the next coming weeks if they want to be playoff bound like they intend to.
Now, in this Virginia Tech Marshall game, which you also
this
missed,
one hurt.
This was a over 48.5.
So this line settled.
It was close.
Well, this line moved. It ended at 53.5 as the over-under line. So there was a lot of money that also believed everything. And this game was at 45 with 9.5 minutes left in the fourth, and not 1 point was scored the rest of the way out. That's unfortunate.
Vegas knows, though. Like, that's the whole
Vegas
point.
knows.
Now, I did see that awesome catch by Marshall. I couldn't tell you the guy's name. I wasn't watching. Obviously, I only saw highlights this week. But,
Yeah.
it was an impressive catch.
I really thought that was going to hit. I thought we were going to be 2 and 3. Thought both the overs were the ones.
Hey, it wasn't all bad, though. It wasn't all bad. You know, you got a little Toledo rocket action.
Yeah, Toledo UMass surpassed 51.
They rocketed the over.
They scored 61. If only I could translate some of those points downward.
Yeah.
But
It's not how it works.
That game was kind of a lock easy. That was one that, you know, for points we thought was going to happen.
I mean, honestly, I think Vegas should consider that as like a bet option where you say like, all right, I want
excess points I can maneuver within
like,
my parlay.
No, like, you know, it's like a parlay of like, I want it to be like over for these 2 games. I want them to be over
total,
98.
I like it.
Yeah.
We should pitch that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, people can do teasers where you get like 7 points for each game and like,
right.
I like the combining totals.
Why don't we combine the overs, you know?
Just 2 games.
Yeah.
Hear that, Vegas? That's a new
Listen
bet.
up.
It's a new prop bet.
Yeah. But let's just move on from last. That was a rough week.
Put it behind us, you know.
You know,
Took some Pepto, try to clear out that food poisoning.
I don't know how many people are going to be coming to the buffet this week. You know how food poisoning is. It's kind of hard to. I mean, I got food poisoning. I got orange chicken food poisoning back in like 2017. I haven't had it since. So hopefully this betting buffet isn't the same way for some of these people. But
no, we're going to get back on track.
I mean, if I went to the Golden Corral and had a experience like this, I don't know if I'd be going back.
I mean, that's a fair assessment. I would understand if there's some skepticism, but you know, you got to trust the process, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
Something like that.
I mean, otherwise, like from not a betting standpoint, it was an interesting week too.
Yeah, no, there were some big games. And
I was right on something though.
What was that?
Michigan.
Oh.
Overrated.
All right. Well, also what I have to say, I mean, I'm totally with you on that, but here's what I'll also say. After watching, once again, highlight, I watched like the entire game, basically just like a sped up version of the game. Texas is good.
Dude, they're so good.
I think, honestly, if I had to say right now, it's Georgia, Texas, and then everybody else. Like, it's not close.
It
like,
does
this is
feel
a
like
1-2.
I feel like Oregon's not close now. Like
they're not even close.
I mean, Bama hasn't looked convincing. Like, Ohio State's there. Ohio State will be. I think it's probably those 3. I'll put Ohio State in there. Ohio State really hasn't played anybody yet. So
yeah, that one's hard to say. I guess I could say Ohio State. It's maybe those 3 and everybody else, but dude,
Texas
I don't know.
is battle tested now. They went into the big house.
Like Ohio State's going to be Ohio State. Like they're going to be fine, but I think this is just like let's lock in the national championship
put Georgia,
game.
Texas right now
Because
let's just play.
It's and the Ewers
the Heisman
pick is looking fantastic right now.
246, 3 TDs.
It's looking fantastic.
Solid game.
So if you
on
guys
the road too,
you guys apparently should be listening to me for bets because
apparently
right now they're paying off. The Ollie Gordon one maybe not so much, but if you bet both of my Heisman picks, you're looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, I mean Texas just dominated that game.
Yeah.
I mean the 12 is not even really indicative.
No.
It's 31-6 and like Michigan.
They just play good team ball. It's kind of like Georgia where it's just like good team ball. Like I mean they got some
ran
stars,
the ball
but
but like they were just so solid. I mean you had Helm the tight end with 98 and a touchdown. So really it wasn't even the outside receivers.
Nope.
It wasn't. I mean the run game was solid. They wore down Michigan and they used multiple backs too.
They did.
They've been battling injuries all year.
They're not like Ohio State, but they do have some depth at running back.
Yeah, and they do. And I mean, they've been in and out of guys this year at the running back position. So
yeah, no, I mean that was a dumb. Like we were called that one just of like Michigan's overrated
and there were a lot of big like people, big analysts that aren't associated with Not Another Sports Show.
Right.
That were like, oh, that 7.5 line's way too high. This is still Michigan. Man.
Nope.
No, it wasn't.
Now, my question is they're at 17 now. Where do you put them? And you think that's still too high, or do you think that's right where they should be?
Who, Michigan?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that good. They don't have an offense.
Yeah.
This is back-to-back weeks. Like, yeah, they have not been able to score and move the ball. And their defense is rock solid, but when you're out there that long and your offense is putting you in these compromised positions, what do you expect from them? They can only hold so long.
Right.
You're out there for 90 plays. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at like some of these teams behind them, I'm like, like Nebraska's better than them right now.
Well, yeah, they got Mini Mahomes. Mini Mahomes and
they
killed Deion.
Oh, they just gave him. Yeah,
they gave him prime time.
They gave him the dong stomping.
Dude, it was bad.
The Mini Mahomes thing is weird. It's too much. It's too far. He's gone way too far.
Are we sure it's not Mahomes?
It's kind of creepy, honestly. Honestly, like
it's a lot.
Like I get you're a freshman and he's still a kid and everything, but like, what do you do if you're him? Like, you make it to the pros. Do you keep it up?
You got to, right?
Like,
gotta do what got you there, right?
Or is this end up being like a situation where it's like, like Heath Ledger Batman Joker, like where he like does this method acting thing while he's playing football, but it goes like too far, where like he forgets who he actually is. Yeah. He like forgets
somewhere like
the Patrick Mahomes cosplay.
Yeah.
Like, does it go too far where you're like in character for so long that you forget who you are?
Or if his career doesn't like pan out in the NFL, it's like that one like fake Clay guy. It looks like Klay Thompson that just goes around and like starts signing. Maybe that's him.
Dude, honestly though, like you watch, like it's insane. Like just
the mannerisms, the way he throws the ball, like it's the same.
It's not just like his pregame warm-ups. It's not just the way he looks. It's literally the mannerisms as he's playing.
Like I don't even know if you could mimic somebody like that intentionally.
It is
insanity. I don't know if that's like
he
really
has it down. Like possible. Literally at every moment you think that's Patrick Mahomes out there, and it's so honestly he could be a theater kid. He's maybe he's not even into football. Like he's just
maybe he plays when there's a Patrick Mahomes movie that comes out. He's the actor.
Like he's actually never played football before. He's just playing Patrick Mahomes
really as a character.
And Nebraska saw that and was like, Rule was like, you know what? Like this guy's got some skill though, actually too.
He's been watching tape.
But they killed him, and it was a great game to watch. Not really a great game, but a great. It
was a nice message sent by
great viewing experience.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
I think Colorado's got some issues. I told you Colorado, like, dude, by mid-year, what is Sanders going to be playing for?
Well,
him and Hunter.
Yeah. And the thing is that, you got Deion looks like he's aged about 20 years with that beard too. It can't be the locker.
Santa Claus
must be
beard
pretty
going, man.
stressful going out there. I don't know, but
he's a white fox.
He is, but it is good to see the Huskers finally doing something because their fan base
we like
out there.
Rule's a good coach. He's a
really
weird
good
guy.
College. Weird guy, but
a very weird guy.
but
he turns it around. And
he does.
Historically, he's done that everywhere he's went. Like
people have been talking about it.
Like,
oh yeah, we talked about it last year, and we were just like, man, like, is he going to be good finally?
Right.
And then they sucked last year. They're still putting it together. But dude, they look legit. Rayola's legit.
In there.
I mean,
that's why he was one of the top recruits. He's the top guy.
So my sister lives up in Omaha. The Huskers fan base is absolutely insane. Like for as bad as they've been the last, like, I don't know, at least 10 years.
Forever.
Yeah, they've been bad for a while. Since we were kids, yeah. For as bad as they are, like their fan base is absolutely insane. Like they're so into it every year.
Well, what else are you gonna do in Nebraska?
Nothing. Yeah, there's really nothing else to do.
As we just lost, if we have any subscribers from Nebraska, we just lost them.
Oh yeah, but I mean, go Huskers, go Huskers, baby.
Husk Nation.
They're back. They're back in.
They're back. We like it.
What else? What else? Penn State looked a little shaky.
Dude, they looked bad against Bowling Green. It took a late touchdown turnover.
But maybe that's more of a testament to Bowling Green and Connor Bazelak, the ex-Mizzou quarterback.
Dude, Bazelak was so bad at Mizzou, though. Like, he was not good.
He looked decent against Penn State. Actually. And Penn State's supposed to have this great defense. And they're all, now they got the great offense to go with it.
At Penn State. So, dude, that's not an easy place to go.
It's almost like they said, like, all right, yeah, this year we're going to work on our offense. We brought in some guys. Like, now we got all the pieces, but they've forgotten how to play defense. So, I
mean, giving up 27 to Bowling Green is not good.
But, hey, maybe Connor Bazelak finally figured it out,
Hell yeah.
right?
Right. Big Bazelak, guys.
I guess speaking of quarterbacks, we can go to the Mizzou game real quick. Just another shutout game. They're at 89-0 now on their opponents. And
Cook didn't even throw a touchdown, though.
dude, but Cook was cooking out there, boy.
And then, I mean, he did run one in.
Dude, did you see that run?
That was impressive.
The
was
dude
impressive.
was cooking up. And his honestly, some of the throws he was making too. I don't think you're right. He didn't throw a touchdown, but
no, and Luther Burden left with that injury, so I think he should be
he'll
good
be good
to come back.
I think they were. I think it was I mean, he definitely got hurt, but it wasn't like a. No, I think it was more of a. They were up. Yeah, they were up. So why would you put him back in?
I mean, now Mizzou's up to number 6. This is the highest they've been for ever for us, especially at this point in the season. Obviously the Chase Daniel days.
They got up real high. I think they were close to 1.
Daniel Macklin days.
Yeah, they got
those
close
were
to
the
1.
good ones.
Those are my prime. That was back when I was the biggest Mizzou fan ever.
Those are back in the good old days.
Yeah, and they're back. This is the highest they've been this early that I can ever remember. And maybe that's actually the truth, but I'm excited for this season. They have so many guys between Burden, Weiss.
They got some weapons, man. They have some weapons.
Noel's good. So they got a ton of guys. I don't know. There was a lot of games this week.
There's a couple other, one game that I made a comment last week.
Yeah.
About Notre Dame.
Oh yeah.
You remember how their schedule's a joke?
Yeah.
I think Northern Illinois hurt us.
Yeah,
they played that Huskies, over and over.
Them Huskies,
they went into Big Bend.
Yeah.
Beat that ass.
Yeah.
Got them.
I love to see it, honestly.
16-14? You're kidding me. You can't put up more than 14 against Northern Illinois?
That's rough.
Riley Leonard, get out of here. Trash.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's beat up. That's trash, man.
Yeah.
You're telling me that line couldn't get pushed for your running backs?
You know what?
Come on.
You know what's hilarious too is I don't know if you guys remember this when he was at Duke, but he had the you suck the you suck wristband that he'd wear because his mom would always text him that before the games. How awkward is that now when she texts him you suck?
When you really do suck?
How awkward is that now?
Notre Dame now, you can't lose another game.
Honestly, when I'm looking at these rankings right now, when I see them in Michigan at 17-18, I'm like, dude, no.
The battle of zeros.
I'm like,
that might be the BYU smooth game where it's just field goals.
Yeah. I mean, even if they win out, which I don't see happening.
No. Not now.
Yeah. It's just
USC. I feel more confident at the end of the year of USC possibly getting them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, them Huskies, they're ranked 25 now.
Hey, respect that. You went into Notre Dame. I don't care who you are. If you go in there, that's a quality win.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think we're
I got one more game to go over. He's managed to dodge this one. However,
we're about 2 games. There's one more other one we need to talk about.
Well, there's a big one that we need to talk about that he's dodged for the first 10, 15 minutes.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's get out of the way.
He's dodging it.
Let's get out of the way.
Yeah,
Tennessee beat North Carolina State. Beat the brakes off NC State.
Yeah.
NC State struggled against Western Carolina.
Yeah.
And then just got slapped around at home by Tennessee. Tennessee is the real deal.
They are.
Iamoleva,
yeah,
stud. The crazy thing is Grayson McCall was brought into NC State because they needed an upgrade at QB, and McCall's throwing for 10,000 yards in his career in college. He's been there 9 years. He has struggled. You throw for 104 and a pick?
What? That's
104.
Yeah.
And then your top rusher was 6 carries, 25 yards.
They bitch slapped him.
They did. That. That's not a good look, man.
I mean, we talked about Lamaleva. He's a great
stud.
name. What a great name.
That's a pro. So if Tua ever goes down, they can just go from Tua Tagovailoa to Amavalea.
And the thing is too, he honestly didn't play that well. Their run game.
No, but he went on the road, and he's as a young guy, that's still.
Ever
quality.
Since the old Arian Foster days, they've had some decent running backs through there.
That's a name.
Dylan Sampson with 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. that game, but they absolutely bitch slapped them 51-10.
Like, that was so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, Imaleva also ran one in though too.
Yeah.
So, like,
So it wasn't all
he did a
bad.
little bit with his legs, a little bit with the arm. Now I know the game.
All right,
we want
guys.
to talk
He's managed
about.
to not talk about this and not say one word about this for the first. We went over every other game, and how about them Yellow Jackets? They got sprayed. They finally got the pesticide.
They, I mean, they hung in there.
Honestly, okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. It was a good run. You know, they made it from over 4.5 was the futures pick. To ranked within 2 weeks. I mean, that's an impressive comeback.
It is.
That's a huge run. And honestly, what I'll say too is it very fun team to watch. Even in the loss,
They're electric. They can score and score quickly.
I don't like Haynes King isn't like, you know,
I'm
an
pro
NFL
Haynes all the way.
He's not an NFL quarterback.
He's a really fun college
but he's an
quarterback.
extremely fun quarterback to watch. Very fun quarterback to watch. Very fun team to watch. All the Haynes, sponsored by Haynes.
Right.
I mean, the coach is hilarious, and they were down heavy.
Yeah,
they fought their way back, you know, but they just couldn't sting them in the end, you know. The Qs are firing. McCord has turned his career around with Syracuse.
I'll be honest. I thought McCord was overrated. I didn't think he was that good at Ohio State, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he looks like he found a rhythm. Like, I think Syracuse is the right offense for Kyle McCord. I mean, he was
structured it around
humming
him.
the ball around.
He was hitting darts too,
and they're like great passes. It wasn't like everything was like wide open. Like, there were some solid defensive coverages, and he's just
I don't know if
dimes.
I mean, I don't know if this is a hot take, but it was one of the most impressive quarterback performances this week.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I think it's accurate.
Like, I mean, he played well.
380 and 4 touchdowns, and man, he carved up Georgia Tech's defense.
He did.
Georgia Tech's defense did not look good. They could not get a stop.
I think
they got lucky on a block field goal to keep them in it at one point.
Yeah,
like in the first half.
The defense stepped up at the end, but
then they started holding, and it was like, maybe if we can get the ball back, we can go down and score.
The onside kick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, only lost by 3. On the road at Syracuse,
but
wasn't going to be an easy game. Quality effort, though.
I think Syracuse is close to being...
I think Syracuse is really good, too.
They're close to being ranked.
Yeah, Syracuse
I'm kind of surprised that they're not, but...
yeah, I like Syracuse going in. Like,
yeah.
Their offense looks good.
I think he just needed to get away from Ohio State. And I mean, I get it, too. Like, if you're not, like, the best guy ever... They're gonna immediately turn on you.
And they had so many weapons too.
They're gonna turn on you.
What
and
is your deal?
Yeah. So like, I get it, but
and he had to follow C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Like, that's not easy to follow.
But people were down on Stroud too until he came into the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, no one thought he was gonna be this good in the NFL.
No one likes Ohio State quarterbacks.
No.
They all hate their quarterback regardless. That's the thing. They're never happy with their quarterback.
Did we think that Stroud was gonna be better than Fields?
Not a chance.
And here we are. Like, now I'm like, C.J. Stroud might be one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the NFL.
And Justin Fields was purely a college-style quarterback.
Purely now. And you're like, what happened?
Well, yeah, exactly. But, I think that's week 2.
There was a lot of things to go over in week 2.
Put it behind us,
We're going to put it behind us now.
A little food poisoning ain't no thing. We're going to move forward.
You kind of got to push through it. Like, I haven't pushed through the orange chicken yet, but like, maybe if I try it again.
You got to have more mental toughness.
Right. You got to have a little mental grit. You know, you got to like, when it starts coming back up, you just got to, suck it back down and take it again,
That's a great analogy for them out there.
All down your throat.
Buffet now.
All right. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start with a little LSU action this week?
Oh, for the betting buffet?
Yeah, let's do a little betting buffet.
Let's start there. All right. Appetizer. LSU, South Carolina.
Yeah. Let's go, baby.
You should like this.
I will like this.
LSU's -7 currently. They're going to South Carolina. Don't get me wrong. South Carolina just had a very, very impressive win over Kentucky. At Kentucky, that game they were not favored in. South Carolina found some offensive rhythm, but LSU, for me, here needs this win. If they want to be a team that potentially is going to get in the playoff, they have to start having convincing wins. They were not convincing last week against Nicholls State.
Now let me say, now that's one we didn't talk about. Look,
well, yes,
the Guggenheim was
the Gulag. What?
Oh, you didn't see this? So Nicholls' running back was this little white guy named Guggenheim, and he ran all over them.
I admittedly
it was quite hilarious.
All the LSU games.
He did not look that like he was small. He did not look like particularly fierce or anything.
So he's Christian McCaffrey?
No, he did not look like Christian McCaffrey. His name was Guggenheim.
The Guggenheim.
And I don't know what his first name was because I just watched the highlights and all they kept saying was just his last name and it was hilarious.
Well, why not?
But it was just when you watch him back to back to back, dude was lighting it up. He ripped off like a 75-yard touchdown. It was pretty impressive. But anyway,
I
not
think LSU,
that great. Now the Nussmeier was throwing. He was better. Not as many Nussburgers this time, but I mean it was still. I don't know how I feel about the team.
I think this is a get right game for them, or this is going to be kind of that. Maybe they're not that good.
Yeah,
like
where if we lose this one,
you're done. Like playoff contention's out the window.
Yeah,
like you can't have 2 losses this early in the year.
Definitely not to South Carolina. Not that South Carolina is like.
No, I mean South Carolina's 2-0. Like I said, they just got a quality win against a Kentucky team on the road.
I'm still trying to figure out who like the top receivers really are for LSU. It's. Lacey had 3 touchdowns in that game.
But he's only got 159 yards over the 2 games.
So. And it was mainly this last game. So it's hard to tell.
I mean, Nussmeier hasn't been turning the ball over. He's only got the 1 pick.
I'm not all in on the Nussmeier.
I mean, it's hard when you lose 4 NFL caliber receivers last year.
Yep.
So anyway,
I
think this is a get right game for LSU. So I'm riding that they're due to turn it around. Like the buffet is time to turn it around. You want the next course?
Let's do it.
All right. This is a nice little fun play.
Oh.
Coastal Carolina versus Temple. Over 51.5.
Oh, he's hitting that over, baby.
Sweets. High calorie one here. Coastal Carolina's offense is electric. They hung up 55 week 1, 40 last week. Their offense is high octane. Temple gave up 51 to Oklahoma and 38 to Navy. Coastal Carolina can cover over 51.5 themselves. Put them on there for 40. Temple will score 2 touchdowns. Bam, we got over 51.5. This is just like a high octane offense versus a really bad defense in Temple. Temple can move the ball a little bit on offense.
Temple
Not
sucks.
great. But I think they might, score a touchdown or 2.
It might be like,
or Coastal Carolina might just cover this outright.
I was about to say it might be like 55 to 2.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I like this. I think this is an undervalued line. Obviously, because it's not 2 big name teams, sometimes you get a little better value in those over-unders in these type of games.
I mean, if Navy can put up 38.
Exactly. Coastal Carolina is a way better offense than Navy.
So
I was impressed with what I saw from Coastal Carolina week 1. I did not expect them to come out and hang a 55 spot up on Jacksonville State, who's not a bad team.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they were the X.
They were, but I think they're better than that.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, to put up 55 on anybody is pretty good.
That is.
So that's that one. We're going the over 51.5. I like the overs. They're more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, is there any you want to pair with that? Do like I'll take both games for I'll take both games for
the dessert game will be the one that we'll talk about. We'll get there though.
What do you got for a little give us another like more of a main course game.
Going back to the well. Not really.
Oh.
Notre Dame versus Purdue.
Ouch. Gross.
Notre Dame -11 here.
There's a lot of this week we got a lot of in-state rivalries.
There's a lot of in-state games.
And it's a lot of them are at the
underdog.
The
Dogs hosting a lot of these games.
Yep.
Notre Dame's -11 currently. We just saw what Notre Dame did against NIU.
What
Nothing.
Nothing. That hurts.
They have to play well here. This isn't a game that they can really lose or struggle in anyway. Just from a pure optics standpoint, if they're wanting to be a serious playoff contender, they have to win this, and they have to win convincing. Show that NIU game was a one-off. Show it was just like a letdown after a big game against A&M that they took on the road. Riley Leonard he's banged up. That line has to get pushed. They have to be able to run the ball. They should be able to run the ball against Purdue. Worst case is Notre Dame's defense should stymie Purdue's offense.
If Marcus Freeman wants to keep his job,
dude, if they lose this game, he's on the hot seat. I don't know if he makes it out.
I don't even know. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know if they win. I don't know.
He might be gone.
Yeah, I think the rest of the season, if he doesn't win every single game for the rest of the season, he might be out.
I mean, Notre Dame's got high expectations. They got a lot of money going in there, and
they paid NIU $1 million to lose at home.
Dead ass.
How'd that feel? Not great. I can tell you that much.
I bet NIU felt like $1 million.
So yeah, I mean, I'm all in on this line as well. I think so far, I think you're pretty accurate on these bets. I like these bets this week. The only one I'm not so sure about is the LSU one, but I'm all for it.
I got you.
I'm all for it.
I think it's a bounce back.
Yeah,
we're gonna bet.
I could see it. I could see LSU sucking, but at the same time, like,
I feel like they're due to come back. They have to.
They usually beat Cox, so you know.
All right. Well, next course.
Right, next course.
I got App State versus East Carolina. This is an easy game for Appalachian State going to East Carolina, who is 2-0. They've played well. App State just got their ass kicked by Clemson.
Did.
Klubnik looked like a Hall of Famer.
Hate to see it.
So you know that's not good when Klubnik has 5 touchdowns.
I don't like that.
No one does. So this is, I think, App State gets back on track. Also, if they can have the ECU quarterback continue to turn the ball over, he's already thrown 7 picks this year.
That can't be true.
It is accurate. So, you know, they've played Old Dominion. Like, East Carolina's not played a tough schedule. And to have 7 picks is like...
That might be worse than
App
getting...
State's got a solid defense now. It didn't look like it, obviously, with Clemson, but Clemson also had a little more motivation after they just got shellacked.
Yeah.
So
there
was residuals there for App State.
Right.
So I think this App State gets right, takes care of business at East Carolina. -2.5 right now in App State. I think they can just roll this game, maybe get a touchdown victory.
All right.
So I like having at least a field goal to win and cover.
I'll root for them.
But I think App State here.
I'm usually rooting for App State. It's always like a fun team to watch.
You know, they're a quality non-power 4 team.
Yeah.
And App State's got a chance, too, to try to make a playoff push.
Yeah. Now, we got another one. You're looking to bring back something from week 2, another one from week 2.
I'm bringing it back. You know, you want, for dessert, you want a really sweet victory.
Yeah.
A really, you know, high-scoring, high-calorie dessert.
Oh, what do we got?
This is not that. This one we're going a little bit diabetic.
One of those low-calorie
low-calorie ones. BYU versus Wyoming. This line is only 39.5 total points. I'm taking the over. Listen, BYU scored 31 in week 1. Obviously, last game against the Stings, 18-15. But even there, you're just a touchdown away from covering. And that game moved at a snail's pace. And there were chances SMU couldn't score. So,
I mean, here's my question. You're saying here, we got the scores here. The line is it's over 39.5. Last week, BYU, SMU, 18-15. Mm-hmm. Wyoming, 17-13.
Yeah.
Neither one got to 39.5.
No. Wyoming changed offense. They're still trying to get everything to come around. They looked bad against Arizona State. Arizona State hung up 48 on Wyoming. They got a little more momentum last week. I think they're going to continue to build on that. Either way, I think BYU can score 24 here, 24-16 and recover. Really, BYU could run away with this game too. I'd be banking on BYU just covering like a hefty number themselves. You can get 4 scores for BYU. Wyoming will do something. It's not a sexy game, but I think 39.5 is just too low for college football. And we're not talking Iowa State here.
Right. Also great game.
Cougars.
Also great game last week that we didn't cover.
Yeah.
Too many games to cover and talk about, but I mean that
game was a letdown for a Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
To lead the whole game. And just, man, they jumped out ahead early. the offense just it reverted back to the old Iowa offense.
I told you it could have been a close. I was like, I could see Iowa State winning this one. They haven't won in a while, it seems like, and
that was a game that I was gonna look back and be like, man, that should
hurt.
not have happened.
It hurts the over 9.5.
8.5. We got it
over 8.5.
So
over 8.5.
you can go 9-3. That's a game you should have won, though. There's no reason that should have been a loss.
It's still very in reach, but
yeah. That's the buffet. That's what we got.
Wow, we end it with like a Fiber One bar.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
I mean, yeah, you got to be safe after last week's kind of debacle.
Yeah, we already lost some pounds from the food poisoning we gave last week with the buffet. I apologize.
You know, after you eat your dessert, you kind of, back in the day, you light up one of your Camel cigs,
Oh, yeah, you remember those days.
Yeah, you smoke a little Camel action.
Smoke on that Camel pack.
Which, I mean, speaking of which.
Oh.
Who's this? Who's that? Yeah. Who's this? Who's that?
So, yeah, I mean, we're back with another segment of Who's This, Who's That. And last week, our Camels, the Fighting Camels, they pulled out the victory, baby.
Upset over?
They did.
Western Carolina?
I did not pick them. We talked about them. I should have picked them. They were the featured team. I featured them, and then I didn't pick them.
They got the double Bs out there on offense, man.
I'm 0 for 2 on these games. But, guys, the Fighting Camels are a team to watch out for. They took them 21-14.
Go Campbell.
And it was the B&B factor that was the difference.
This game was not as easy to find.
It was not. I'm sure you guys have watched it, though. It was on ESPN Plus, so.
I bought ESPN Plus just for this game.
There was probably pay-per-view for this game.
It was.
But I think we're going to move on to this week's, and make it even harder for you guys to find this game.
Who's that?
Currently, this game is not on any TV. You might be able to find it on a stream online, maybe. Maybe somebody's streaming it on their iPhone.
That seems more realistic.
But this week we're featuring another mascot that you might be a fan of. It's the Yellow Jackets.
Georgia Tech? We already know who they are.
No, it's the Black Hills State University Yellow Jackets.
Who?
Yeah, the Black Hills State University Yellow Jackets, and colors are green and yellow. And last week they had a great matchup with who was this? The Southwest Baptist. Oh, in Missouri, Southwest Baptist, Missouri. So pretty big Division II game we have this week, rivalry game. They're looking to get off the schneid. They started 1-0. They've only played one game so far.
Never lost. Undefeated.
Their quarterback, Luke Doobie. That is actually his name.
So you went from smoking Campbell's to Doobies?
to Doobies. We've upgraded. He was 22 for 36 last week. 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, clean game, no interceptions. I mean, woo. They don't have much of a running game. They spread the ball out. Their top guy, Cameron Goods, only had 9 attempts.
Good.
He had 9. He did not have the goods. He only had 9 attempts for 14 yards.
What?
Yeah, and that was their top runner. So they're more of a throwing.
I think we both got eligibility left. Maybe we can go there.
I mean,
be running back.
Now I haven't said yet. They're playing at St. Thomas. I know you guys know who that is.
St. Thomas Aquinas, like the high school that all the major athletes come from.
They're very well could be. They're now let me go over this. They're playing this game in O'Shaughnessy Stadium in St. Paul. So it's
a gorgeous stadium,
but huge stadium.
It's all the vibes.
They are located in
outlet mall.
No, well, quite possibly yes, but Black Hills State University is located in Spearfish, South Dakota. In case you're wondering,
I remember going there.
An enrollment of 3,500 currently, and at their game last week, they had 2,700 people in the stands. So
basically, the whole school showed up.
School showed up for this game.
That's a real one.
It's huge. They have some notable alum, Zach Alcorn. You remember him, right?
He got his own college named after him, right? Alcorn
State.
State.
I think they named a college after him.
That's where Steve McNair went.
Yeah, was signed by the Green Bay Packers and an undrafted free agent in 2006. If you remember that, he played 6 games with the Packers in 2006. You recall that?
Yeah, he was like, it was him and Favre competing in camp, right? In
Yeah,
06?
I believe so. Yeah. Well, he was a tight end, but
Oh,
but
so
still,
that
yeah.
man, Jermichael Finley.
Yeah,
I think that's way before
that was
Jermichael
before, that was
Finley.
before. He played 6 games for them, so pretty solid player. But anyway, they're playing against the St. Thomas. Who knows what mascot they are? Not listed, and this game has 0 information about it.
So what are we setting the line at?
I think I'm liking the Black Hills State line this week. I think we're sitting at about 7.
Minus
-7. -7. Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah, I think.
I'll take that. I'll follow that bet.
I mean, you have to. You're
I
a Yellow
have
Jacket.
to.
I mean,
Yeah.
go Jackets,
Go
baby.
Jackets.
Go
Right
Jackets. I mean, so the Black Hills State Jackets coming out of the RMAC. You familiar with the RMAC?
Is that not
The,
a chair?
It's the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference.
Oh.
If you're not, if you guys are familiar with the Colorado School of Mines, that is their conference, and they own that conference. They are number 1 in that conference every year, and typically they're the team that gets paid to get.
This is riveting
Slong on.
information.
So
You've never heard a more in-depth who's this, who's that with
this is
extra info. Last week
is
we were just
in-depth.
talking about camels. Now we
Which
actually
the
we're back
camels
to
are
bees
great.
and yellow jackets.
So that's pretty much all I got. But
That's a lot. That's
taking-
probably more than their Wikipedia page has.
their Wikipedia page is pretty empty, and their top videos on their athletic website is their last video uploaded was the 2016 preseason roster video.
That
So
was a championship year.
they do have the updated schedule and everything. They are playing, and we're gonna go Black Hill State this week -7. We're taking it.
Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
Wow, man.
We got
it's
a
hard
lot
to-
of it's hard to
hard to
follow
top
that up.
that.
It's hard to follow that up with a few of these games this week. Not there's a few games, but they're not as good as that one.
Nah, but I mean, there's some good ones. There's some
Yeah.
bangers out there this week.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this Missouri Boston College game.
This should be a good game. It's at Columbia, so Mizzou gets home. They're up a 17-point favorite here. Obviously, hopefully Luther Burden's full go, no restrictions. But Boston College is 2-0, and they've played well.
Yeah,
They've got a whole new system. Their quarterback's a veteran. He can also move around really well. He's a field general that can also move. So Mizzou likes to blitz defensively. They're going to need to try to keep him in the pocket to be successful here.
Now, how much is Boston College good compared to how bad their competition has been?
I mean,
That's a strike.
potentially.
That's a strike at Florida
We can
State,
make-
by the way.
Yeah, that's a strictly
That's
only
a strike.
at Florida
That's a
State.
dig. That's a dig at Florida State.
Mizzou hasn't been battle tested yet, which hopefully they wouldn't when they played Murray State in Buffalo.
Whoa, Buffalo.
This is
is
not the Buffalo
great.
Bills.
Not
This is
great.
not Josh Allen's Buffalo.
Okay, never mind.
I know that's hard to believe.
Yeah. Now, like you said, the Luther Burden thing, is he going to play? I think so.
I do too. I don't think there's anything out there
I don't
as
love-
of right now.
I don't love like early this season, anything like that.
No.
Now they have depth. Like some of these other, like Weiss can fully take like a star, star role for them.
Dude, he's looked great, man.
He has.
He's looked really good. So I think
And they
they'll
got
be
some
all right.
freshmen. They got some depth there. I think clearly they can just have Riddy Cook run it.
I think this will really
Noel
be.
can run it.
I think this will kind of be the game where we see where Mizzou's defense is on the year.
Yeah, they've been
Because Boston College
we'll
can
find out.
score. I mean, they
Yeah,
hung
we'll-
56 on Duquesne,
Right.
which obviously it's Duquesne, but like we sat here and said, yeah, Mizzou hung 51 on Murray State.
That's why
Mizzou hasn't given up a point, but
I'm pumped on this one. This
Boston
week.
College played Florida State tough. So,
What other games you're looking forward to this week? What's your top game you're looking forward to?
I think the Civil War game.
Yeah,
Little American history, number
Oh.
9, Oregon going to Oregon State,
yeah,
Cornwallis.
yeah.
This is a very, very intriguing game. Obviously, Oregon's 2-0. But
Yeah, I'm not
is
in
it
on
a
Oregon.
convincing 2-0?
I am not in.
No. And honestly, Oregon State's looked pretty good.
Yeah,
They're 2-0. They've played a very solid.
Them Beavers.
Yeah, they just shut out San Diego State at San Diego State, which their offense isn't great.
Right.
But, they are also tied for first in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Do you know, fun fact,
What's that?
the Pac-12 is undefeated this year. The only conference with
Whoa.
with no losses. They have 2 teams.
Oh.
Oregon State and Washington State are the
Yikes.
last 2 in the Pac-12 for this year. Both 2-0.
Interesting.
Fun fact, conference has not lost. There's not one other conference in the nation that can say that.
Interesting. How
Pac-12, the powerhouse? Why are we not talking about them in this
Maybe-
Power 5?
Yeah. Now, this week might be that week.
It might be. It's a 16-point spread right now
Yeah.
for Oregon. Honestly, Oregon State seems very intriguing. It's not easy to go into Oregon State.
I was about to say
It's a rowdy crowd.
I'm taking that line like. I'm not, but like I'd consider it.
I haven't really liked what I've seen from Oregon, to be honest with you. I mean, they're not really that explosive.
No?
They lost some of those guys. Bo Nix, obviously.
Right.
And Oregon State here, they're going to try to slow the game down. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to milk the clock. I think they're going to stay close.
Yeah.
And they have a legit shot here of winning outright. They've been close in the past. I think Oregon State's kind of due.
I mean, who wins in the battle between a duck and a beaver?
Beaver.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Ain't no one scared no duck.
Those teeth? I mean, come on.
Right. Bah.
They're chewing down trees. They can chew down a duck. I mean,
I'll be damned if they lose to a duck.
I mean,
we got all the animal jokes.
we do. I get it. It took me a second, guys. Damn, get it? Like beaver dam. All right. Anyway, honestly, a big game I'm looking forward to this week is the Oklahoma Tulane game as well, because Tulane actually looked decent this.
Tulane's good, and Oklahoma. I'm not sold on Oklahoma.
No,
I mean
Houston,
Houston's not that good.
They are not, as we talked about preseason. They're not good, and they haven't looked good. And I watched the highlights stacked up, and it's like I don't even know how that game was close because they didn't look good.
No, and
yet
honestly,
they still,
man, Oklahoma probably shouldn't have won that game.
Right.
Like that was.
But
I don't buy Oklahoma right now.
No, me neither.
Once they start SEC play,
No.
I think it's going to get
We'll
dicey.
see how it goes,
I
but
think it's going to get dicey for them.
But Tulane took Kansas State to the wire.
Dude, they had it.
They should have won, really.
They had it.
Dude,
Their quarterback just made a dumb just a dumb pass.
The thing is like that dude was honestly like solid all game.
Dude,
Darian Menza, like he's actually not bad.
No, he's got some swag to him.
He's got to keep. I don't know if they can keep him at Tulane, the transfer portal and everything like next year. But like
he fits that offense so well.
I mean, if he keeps making dumb mistakes like that, he might stay there.
Man, they had that game all the way to the end, and then he just got rid of the ball. Like, just take the sack. Don't have a forced fumble like that. Like, can't be reckless. That led to that touchdown. They had K-State on the wire.
They did.
So that's
And then DJ Giddens on the other side. That's Giddens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was lighting it up.
Oh yeah.
On like catching, running, like everything.
Oh man, yeah, he was electric.
So I mean, that was a fun game. It would have been a fun game to watch live.
It was.
They should. Yeah. There you go. They should have. I mean, Kansas State's still going to be good this year. I think Tulane just stepped up.
Yeah. I mean, I think Oklahoma's going to have their hands full this week with Tulane.
There's a few more of those in-state rivalries. You got Utah State. That should be a shellacking, though, even if they're in Utah State.
Even with Cam Rising being a little banged up. He left last game early, but they didn't need him to come back. I mean, Cam Rising looked fine. But that's his whole career's injury, so
right.
Who knows? But, yeah, I don't. Even if he doesn't play, Utah State not going to be able to score on Utah.
I mean, Utah State
defense is so
destroyed
good.
last week, so
yeah.
Somebody who we didn't talk about in the early games was the Alabama USF game. That
score is misleading as can be.
Yeah, it ended up 42-16, but it was close.
It was a one-score
quarter.
game deep into the fourth, and then it was just like
somehow
everything fell apart.
But Alabama, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about them. They are ranked 4 right now, but
man,
I don't know.
Alabama's line's -16 here. Now they're going to Wisconsin this week. Wisconsin's not that great.
Yeah. So like that, they can get.
I'm
back.
not a very
big
Tyler Van Dyke guy though.
No.
Van Dyke's
No,
not
me
that
neither.
good. So like that's where my problem is for Wisconsin is.
Yeah.
And their running backs like
I also think it's just a good week for Alabama to kind of like right the ship on the road, even like
yeah.
that, like to have that scare last week and then to get this game with Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin's going to come out trying to prove something, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm not really in on Wisconsin that much. Like they're 2-0, but they're not very good. They struggled against Western Michigan. They struggled against South Dakota. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with Bama.
Yeah.
Offensively, I don't think they have the firepower.
Yeah.
I mean, they've struggled to run the ball. Tyler Van Dyke's not a very good thrower either.
No.
So I feel like this is a Bama game that might get ugly.
Yeah. And it's not one that I really care to watch.
And it's
either.
really not like you're not going to Wisconsin at night. It's a 11 kickoff, so
Right.
it's a day game.
Yeah.
Is it really going to be that rowdy there?
I could see Milrow kind of riding the ship this week. They were in the backfield all day and he was struggling.
Dude, he was getting hit a lot. That line's got to tighten up. But they're getting Proctor back.
Yeah.
Proctor will be fully healthy coming into this Wisconsin game, so that's going to boost that
Dude's a
offensive
stud.
line. And once they took out the one lineman who had like 4 penalties in like the first quarter, that offensive line started to tighten up for Oklahoma or for Alabama.
Clearly.
So
A
couple small changes there, like started to turn the tide.
Yeah. The Georgia Kentucky, you know, could be
Kentucky
interesting.
might hang within like 3 touchdowns.
You know, I think preseason maybe we were higher on it, and then
I thought Kentucky was better. They run a very slow pace.
then
Like
they
they just run the ball and they're slow, but they looked bad against South Carolina. That was a game they should have won.
They didn't just look bad; they were bad.
They were very.
It was
bad.
6-31 at home.
Yeah, and their offense was not good. Not good.
So
And those dogs gonna be barking.
they definitely gonna be barking. You're gonna have ETN out
I
there.
mean, we're just waiting for Georgia, Texas.
That's
Texas
really
has
what we're
got
waiting
what,
for.
like UTSA this week or something.
Yeah,
like
it ain't-
Texas is like a
There's nobody.
90-point favorite this week.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot going on outside of that. It's a lot of I think there's gonna be a lot of high scoring beatdowns this week. There is the Arizona Kansas State game.
That'll be good. The 20 versus 14, but like honestly, both those teams are kind of shaky as ranked teams.
right,
Like, neither of them
right.
I feel very strongly
right.
like
No,
that good.
that's why I'm like it's not really
It's
the
a
best.
ranked matchup, but I don't think it's a very good.
The best game I see this week is the Boston College at Mizzou game, and
easily, and then the Oregon
and then
State,
the
I
Oregon
think,
State. Yeah,
is a huge rivalry game, and I think
everything
it'll be
else
worth it.
might be a little bit of a
Might see a shellacking.
yeah. So, but anyway, that's week 3.
Week 3, betting buffet is about to
Ooh,
get better.
man, hope that we can take some Pepto before you show up to that one, because
Yeah, it was rough, but you know,
would you like to
it's a process.
apologize again to everybody? I think they deserve it.
Yeah. Make sure you zoom the camera in right here. I'm sorry. There's no good explanation for what happened last week. We thought we made the right reads. The lines moved in our favor. The teams didn't perform. We didn't perform. I didn't perform.
Don't blame the teams.
I didn't perform. I vow to be better. I do this for you guys. I do it for myself. I do it for not another sports show nation.
You and the Jackets got humbled this week.
Yeah.
They were riding high for 2 weeks, but
Damn it, we'll be back.
they'll be back.
Tex got VMI this week.
Let's go.
About to get a dub. We're about to go 5-0. We know you didn't ask for another sports show.
But you got one.